views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Open, the one and only show that opens the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, Bobby C., filling in for Dr. Bob Lee. We have a fantastic show for you this morning. Leading off the show will be Roy Paul, a motivational speaker who will be moderating the Millennial Mayoral Forum on May 1st. After that, a special Monday morning sports roundup. Then, Tony Award winner Ben Harney and his daughter Jenny Harney will join us to talk about their musical by the name of Pearl. And Jenny Harney will give us a preview by performing for us right after that. Musical guests I Am One of a Kind will perform as part of today's Music Mondays. So stay tuned. All this and more is headed your way because we are now officially open. Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Bobby C., and you're watching Open. Today is Monday, April 29th, 2013. We've got a phenomenal show for you today. But tomorrow, Bronxton is celebrating International Jazz Day. We will have a lineup of Bronx-born musicians. DJ Cool Clyde, what do you think about this?
I think it's great. Jazz.
How much do you love jazz?
I love jazz. Jazz is the foundation of hip-hop. So you know I've come from hip-hop from the very beginning. And to be influenced by a lot of great jazz legends and new upcoming artists, I think is great. And I think we have Bronx artists that's going to be participating in this thing. I think it would be a very good thing for the Bronx because it heals your soul. It lets you know the beginnings and the roots of music. And I think jazz is so influential in many people's lives, whether your daily lives, whether you're just walking around, whether you're interacting, being with friends. Jazz plays a very important role in everyone's life.
Well, you know, Clyde, I tell people all the time that I have street credibility when it comes to music thanks to DJ Cool Clyde. So
well, thank you.
You're kind of helping us today with some more history about the jazz, and I'm definitely excited about it. I think it's great that we get to do things like this.
Well, I do want to say this, Bobby C., you've been doing a lot of great things, you know, and it's like to be able to see you in Madison Square Garden, the Barclays Center, Yankee Stadium, and interviewing these sports figures. I think that's so powerful. Do you ever get to a point where you have a question that you want to ask to one of these sports spectators and get the chance to get those questions answered?
You know, every time we go out to cover a sporting event, it's definitely great to see some of these legends. And, you know, originally, a lot of times when we go out to cover the games, that first time, many years ago for me, you do get a little awestruck the first time you're interviewing someone like Derek Jeter. But after a while, you know, you realize that just like everybody else just happens to be, you know,
to see you
a millionaire.
To see you actually in the stadium, behind the scenes, when I see the ESPN flags, when I see, you know, 1010 Wins flag, and you, so many different people, and you to see the BronxNet logo means so much, man. But I say, one day I want to see you interviewing on a golf course, Tiger Woods. Maybe get a drop from him. This is Bobby C. You're watching Open on BronxNet Television.
Oh, definitely doing big things here at BronxNet when it comes to sports, and also big things with International Jazz Day. So, you know, so many legends in the world of sports, so many legends in the Bronx when it comes to music, yourself included. Yeah. And it's great to be able to honor some of these jazz legends coming up here in the Bronx. So definitely exciting time.
I'm looking forward to that. I think that's great, and I think it's so important that we continue to support that because jazz has paved the way for so many people's careers, whether it's in rock, whether it's in hip-hop, whether it's in salsa. Jazz is the beginning and the essence of it, so we must pay honor and tribute to the jazz legends.
There you have it. DJ Cool Clyde.
Yes.
We'll be right back with Open, but first a look at Shul in the mosque, the painting. Enjoy.
Students from Manhattan College joined another group from the Bronx Islamic Leadership Academy at their school located in the Parkchester section for a unique project, renovating a Jewish synagogue located in a mosque.
The diversity of New York is just a magnificent thing. And what all of you guys are growing up in whole new definition of diversity.
Call it an interfaith community service project, people from all backgrounds coming together to paint a wall and change a door for the Beis Menachem synagogue.
When I first heard about it, like I said, I was amazed. I was like, that's really interesting. And now actually being here and being part of the experience and seeing all the face work together, it's kind of like a dream come true.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
The new
5, 4,
synagogue,
3,
which
2, 1.
draws
Mine is
20 to
tied. I don't know.
30 elderly Parkchester residents, opened after members of the congregation were no longer able to keep up with the cost of their own building. President and founder of the Bronx Leadership Academy, Musa Drame, opened up his space free of charge.
Having an interfaith gathering, working to make a better man for not only our community, but doing it for strangers and people that they don't know. What better way to live? This is a typical New York. This place here that's being painted is a place that when you come here Friday night or Saturday morning, you will feel the love and the togetherness and the unity between the Muslim community and the Jewish community.
The Riverdale Jewish Community Relations Council, the Bronx Clergy Roundtable, and the students at Manhattan College taking an interfaith relations class are all part of a larger effort to educate on the many religions represented. The hope is to bring better understanding and communication between all groups.
This is in fact unity. This is in fact people working together. This is in fact a symbol to a community that division is not the way to go. Unity is the way to go, because only by bringing together all these kids, can you have something really fixed and repaired.
Another day to continue renovations has been scheduled for May 12th. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
Welcome back to Open. I'm your host, Bobby C. Our first guest is a motivational speaker who at the age of 19, became the youngest African-American elected to a school board in the state, and on May 1st, he will moderate the Millennial Mayoral Forum at the CUNY Graduate Center. Please welcome Roy Paul to the show. Roy.
Nice to be with you.
Great to have you on the show. You know, anytime you can hear someone say a refreshingly young voice is how many people describe political commentator, speaker, and analyst. That sounds like a pretty good tagline, refreshingly young voice.
My mother put that together.
Oh, she did. Well, it's good that I had it then this morning for us to read. But, you know, you get involved in politics at a very young age. How would you say, what made you decide that you want to be in motivational speaking and helping people?
Well, I decided to run for the school board because it was really a fluke, to be honest with you. I was sitting at home and I was looking at the television screen and yelling as one of those people saying, "Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they talking about this?" And then at one point I pretty much said, either I put up or I shut up. I didn't think I was going to get elected. I thought that everyone said 18-year-olds should sit at home and watch video games, and that's all they should do. But this was back in 2006, and I got involved, and I won by 36 votes.
Wow.
Yeah, every vote really does count.
So take us back to the Regents exam and basically starting out at a young age and correcting some of the wrongs here.
Well, it was pretty much everyone takes the Regents exams. And I was sitting in class one day, and the teacher said, "We're going to pretty much teach you everything you need to know in order to pass this exam. It's not going to really be indicative of what you need to know in order to be successful in your academic career." And so I pretty much said, then why are we taking it? We really should try to reform the system instead of just going along with the status quo. So I got involved in a statewide movement, and that's what really birthed my ran for office. And then after that, everything else, I guess they say, is history.
200 petitions signed for
Within
Albany.
a couple of weeks, yeah.
And that's a pretty big accomplishment for someone so young.
Oh, you're very kind. Thanks.
So how did it feel to become the youngest African-American elected to the school board?
Well, I didn't really think about it at the time. I was really trying to do something in the community. After they said that that's what I had done, I wasn't aware of the history around my win. It pretty much sort of just solidified what one person can do if they get involved in the community. You know, being the youngest elected and all that is great, but it's really important to actually do something once you get elected, and I was more concerned with that.
Now, motivational speaker, but a hustler at heart, correct?
I'm a hustler born and raised. I was actually born in the Bronx, in Lincoln Hospital on 149th and Grand Concourse. I hadn't been back here in years because when I was about 12, we moved to Orange County, and that's where I was raised until I came back for college. So it's good to be back in the Bronx whenever I come. I always visit the karate studio that I took karate lessons at, and this is really where I got my start here in the Bronx.
So what part of the Bronx?
I was in Westchester section, so it was more northern, but I had a great time here. Most of my friends were formulated here. Some of the best teachers I ever had was in the public school here in the Bronx.
So you've given so many people a voice. You've made an impact, a difference, change. What do you hope to eventually accomplish in all of these endeavors?
Well, I don't know. Right now I'm thinking about here and right now. So I'm more concerned with paying my rent in Harlem, which
We all are.
It's really outrageous. I mean, in my studio, I pay more than my mother pays for her 3-bedroom ranch-style house in Orange County. Right
Welcome
now,
to New York City.
Exactly. And in Harlem, no less. You would think that it's probably, it's a very affordable place to live, and it's not that case anymore. So that's my immediate goal, and trying to continue to promote this forum on the 1st. And other than that, really trying to, especially for young people, make them understand how crucial it is that they get involved with whatever it is that they're doing. It doesn't have to be politics. If you want to get involved in the arts, then pursue it to the fullest. I'm happy to see that one of the other guests is really phenomenal in her own right, breaking through barriers in the arts and culture field. And so all of that stuff that young people are doing, I think is phenomenal.
So tell us more about the forum and how people can get involved.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this because this is the first time that the candidates for New York City mayor will be debating in a forum dedicated specifically to young people. So many of the people in the audience are going to be between the ages of 18 and 39. And it's going to be on May 1st, this Wednesday, at CUNY Graduate Center. And all of the Democratic candidates have been invited to attend. All of them, former Governor David Patterson will be addressing the crowd. And so is former Mayor David Dinkins, who I admire a great deal. He's been extremely supportive to me in a number of different ways. And so we're looking to really try to engage young people in what's going to be going on in this mayoral election. It's going to be extremely crucial that the 1.2 million registered voters who are between the ages of 18 and 39 really understand the issues and who they're going to be voting for to be the next mayor.
What would be the word of advice for someone, a young person coming up and that maybe has the same feelings that you did when you were 16 to 18?
Don't take no for an answer, and to believe in yourself in a way that no one else will. Because I can tell you that I was discouraged a lot. A lot of people said, you're too young, you're not experienced, you don't have a PhD, and you really have to believe in yourself. If someone says, I want to grow and be a musical artist, you have to believe that just because there are 50 other million musical artists out there, that you can really be the one that spotlights. So I would say if someone says, you're one of 155 million trying to do something, you can still do it. And if you're really good at what you do, you can surpass the other people in the field.
Now, you're a motivational speaker. Who was your motivation?
Oh, gosh. Dr. Maya Angelou is one of my motivations. I did an interview with her, and ever since then she's been very, very kind to me and sort of giving me advice here and there. And she's one of those people that you just sort of sit back and listen to. You don't dare open your mouth because when she talks, it's like a breath of life. It's fire. It's powerful. And so whenever she talks to me, I just sort of sit back and say, yes, 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 yes.
Were there teachers or even family members, I know your mom, people that helped guide you along this process? Because again, even though you're a young guy and a lot of great ideas and thoughts and ways to make change, you might still need a little bit of help along the way.
Oh, I always need help. It really did take a village, and it's still taking a village, a community. I had phenomenal teachers, Tina Feliciano in the 8th grade, who I'm still in touch with, Deborah Layton in the 6th grade. She was my math teacher. I just recently became comfortable with the idea of adding her on Facebook as my friend. That's how much respect I have for her. But really, I have so many different mentors. Dr. Elsie Scott, the former chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, a whole bunch of people really have been very kind in extending their arms and their olive branches out to me.
Now that a few years have passed, do you ever sit back and think to yourself, kind of a pioneer in this way?
Ooh, no. I still think that there are a lot of things that I would have liked to get done. One of the things that I'm particularly passionate about is not just the achievement gap, but the opportunity gap. For years, we've been telling young people, achieve, 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 especially in the minority communities, do just as much or better than the Caucasian counterparts. And now we've gotten to a point where that's happening. We're seeing a lot more African Americans and minorities in general achieve academically, but the opportunities aren't there. When you try to go and apply for a job, there are very few openings. There are a lot of hiring freezes, especially for the journalism field. I see all the young people here behind the cameras. We need jobs for them. So one of the things that I think our generation needs a voice in is starting to create opportunities and start knocking on the doors of some of these powerful people to say, open up the opportunities so young people can get in.
And I think that's the true message, that you can have a voice.
Absolutely.
So again, how can people get more information about this?
Well, on
Websites and I know roy-paul.com.
Yeah, that's my website. For this forum, there's a Facebook page, Young Professional and Politically Engaged. If you type that into the search engine, that group will come up and you can get all the information there. And it's important to note that they're live streaming this event. So if you can't be there on Wednesday 6 to 10 at CUNY Graduate Center, you can go to that Facebook page, Young Professional, Politically Engaged, and all the information about live streaming, and there'll be live tweeting and live Facebooking, all that technology, social media savvy stuff that people do, yeah.
Well, you've done an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
It's a pleasure.
I hope that everyone can make it out on May 1st.
I hope so, too.
Thank you so much, Roy. I
Thanks.
appreciate it. We'll be right back with Open right here on BronxNet with the Sports Roundup coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
I'm New York City Comptroller John Liu. You're watching Open with Dr. Bob Lee and DJ Cool Clyde.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone. But you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Our Monday morning sports takes us out to the big ballpark in the Bronx, where the Yankees have rebounded from a 1-4 start to improve to 14-5, keeping pace with first-place Boston in the American League East. The Pinstripers topped Toronto 3-2 Sunday afternoon, sweeping the Jays. The Bombers rallied past Toronto and former Mets ace R.A. Dickey to complete the four-game sweep. Brendan Bosch and Lyle Overbay homered off Dickey as the Yankees, who are still without stars Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, and Curtis Granderson, continue to win games thanks to unlikely heroes like Bosch and Overbay, two players who were released from their former clubs in the offseason. The Yankees have recalled top catching prospect Austin Romine following the broken hand suffered by Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli, who broke his right hand in the first inning Friday night, has been placed on the disabled list. Injuries are mounting for the Bombers, who also lost starter Ivan Nova Friday night. Nova has inflammation in his triceps. He too was placed on the DL. As for Kevin Youkilis, the Yankee third baseman will have an MRI today to check the seriousness of his injury. His back is stiff again, and he was out of the lineup on Sunday. The Yankees have three with Houston at home here in the Bronx Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before welcoming Oakland Friday for the start of a three-game weekend series and the conclusion of their long homestand, which so far, aside from injuries, has been a good one. Across town, the New York Mets wrapped up their weekend series with the Philadelphia Phillies. Ryan Howard played spoiler for the Phils. He snapped a seventh-inning tie with a pinch-hit double, backing starter Cole Hamels, who earned his first win of the season in a 5-1 final Sunday. The Phillies completed a three-game sweep. The Mets will be in Miami Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before heading to Atlanta for three more road games starting Friday. On the NBA hardwood, the New York Knicks sailed to a 90-76 win Friday in Boston, but failed to close out the Celtics on Sunday as the Knicks dropped a 97-90 final in overtime. The series shifts back to the Big Apple Wednesday night, with the Knicks looking to advance to round number 2 and inch closer to a possible Eastern Conference Final showdown for a chance to represent the East in the NBA Finals. Meanwhile, the Miami Heat, the reigning NBA champs and the top seed out of the East, swept Milwaukee 4-0 in their first-round series. They appear primed for a return to the conference finals. San Antonio did the same in the West, sweeping the Kobe-less LA Lakers Sunday in a 103-82 romp. The Spurs may have improved their chances of reaching the NBA Finals this year simply with the news out of Oklahoma City that all-star point guard Russell Westbrook is done for the season, suffering a torn meniscus in his right knee. Westbrook underwent surgery over the weekend. Nonetheless, the Thunder lead their first-round series with Houston 3-0 and will look to close it out in Game 4 minus Westbrook after winning Game 3 without their talented playmaker. The Brooklyn Nets have fallen behind 3-1 in their first-round series. They will try to extend tonight in Brooklyn as they return home and welcome Chicago to the Barclays Center. Nets interim head coach P.J. Carlesimo says the team can still come back and win the series. Brooklyn will have to defy history to do it. Only 8 teams have rallied from a 3-1 series deficit to win a best-of-7 playoff series. If it goes that far, Game 6 would be Thursday in Chicago, and Game 7 would be Saturday night back in Brooklyn. Time for some quick hitters. NBA great Michael Jordan, now 50, married a 35-year-old former model over the weekend. That's good stuff. Guests at his wedding included Spike Lee and Knick legend Patrick Ewing, among many others. The NFL draft wrapped up over the weekend. The Jets did indeed grab quarterback Geno Smith, but instead opted for selecting him a little later in the game rather than in the first round. The final rounds of the draft were also highlighted by Manti Te'o's selection and former Syracuse quarterback Ryan Nassib, who fell in the draft to the New York Giants. The G-Men actually moved up to grab him in the draft. Meanwhile, Te'o is heading to San Diego, where the former Notre Dame linebacker will look to anchor the Chargers defense following a memorable senior season on the college gridiron and off. Out at Jets camp, Rex Ryan said he won't commit to Mark Sanchez under center. Sanchez plans to be at workouts. The Jets have plenty of options at the quarterback position, but the question remains, who's the starter? We know it won't be Tim Tebow, who, according to reports, was released this morning. On the ice, the New York Rangers wrapped up their regular season Saturday with a 4-0 shutout of the New Jersey Devils. That win, coupled with a loss by Ottawa, allowed the Blue Shirts to secure the number 6 seed in the playoffs. The Rangers will now face the Southeast Division winning Washington Capitals in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. The 4th time in 5 years the two clubs will meet in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Rangers got the better of the deal last year, topping the Caps in a 7-game series that included an epic triple OT thriller in game number 3. The New York Islanders draw Pittsburgh in the opening round. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for a statement by the New York Jets. Friday night, second round, 39th pick overall in the draft. That was the moment that Mark Sanchez's career in New York took its biggest hit and likely the final sack. I stood here on a set last year and said that Tim Tebow would likely knock Sanchez from the perch of number one, but it never happened. Maybe I'm wrong here as well, but I think it's official. The Jets are doing everything they can to find someone else to lead this team. Although Tebow never got a shot, deserving or not, Sanchez continued to flounder, and although it appears he will have a chance in camp, I expect the Jets to groom Smith as his successor. Not exactly sure the direction the Jets will go with the roster. Sanchez is still here. Gang Green signed savvy veteran David Garrard in the offseason. Greg McElroy is still in the locker room. And, of course, Smith is now part of the team drafted in the second round, a place where you typically groom a player. The Jets also have rookie Matt Sims. Even with the release of Tebow, that's 5 quarterbacks if you're keeping score at home, and 4 other options for the Jets other than Sanchez. The former Golden Boy, who according to reports was nearly dealt last week to Tampa as part of the deal at center Darrelle Revis, packing to Florida and a flurry of picks coming to New York. I think it will be Geno time, for better or worse, but as always, we want to hear from you. Hit me up on Twitter at The Voice Bobby C, and let me know what quarterback will be under center for the Jets on opening day. That's your sports. We'll have more open after this.
There is also a very attractive extended warranty option that includes free service and parts for the next 5 years. But there's no need for you to get that. You failed to get the test you needed at the doctor that would have detected disease early enough where it could have been treated. So you won't be around in 2 years to see him grow up, which means the warranty would be useless. Okay, sign here, please.
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
Hi, this is Jeff Fox for 107.5 WBLS, and when I get off the radio, I check out my man, the Dr. Bob Lee and Cool Clyde. It's open on BronxNet. I never miss it.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Just like my love that last game. The beat goes on. Still moving strong. On and on. Do you ever wonder?
Yes, and the beat does go on. Our next guest received a Tony Award for his performance in Broadway's Dreamgirls. Now he's directing and co-producing the musical Pearl, which his daughter will star in. Please welcome Ben and Jenny Harney to the show. Thank you so much for coming. you know, Ben, if I had a Tony Award, I think I might keep it in my car and just show it off to everyone, you know, like, check out my Tony Award.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do with the Tony Award? Where does that go?
It's somewhere in a closet. I think my wife has it somewhere. You know, it was a wonderful acknowledgement for a season of work. We've had many seasons since then, but it is an honor to have had it.
So take me back to winning the Tony Award and basically your resume on Broadway. I know you know, modest guy, but you gotta tell everybody at home how great you are.
Well, started on Broadway when I was 18. It had been a childhood dream, and I was able to fulfill it. And once I started, my career did continue to rise and go forward. And I guess I stepped away from the industry about 20 years ago or so, and more of my work has been in ministry, actually, and in directing and producing, collaborating, developing programs for the city and for large organizations around the country.
Now, I don't have kids yet myself, but I'm pretty sure from listening to my mom sometimes, she says that it's so much better, even if you're good at something, to see that something happen in your children. So,
that's so true.
If you can, tell me a little bit about having this superstar of a daughter here.
Should I? No, okay. Jenny is a force to reckon with, always has been. And as a young girl, we knew she was going to do something. We weren't quite sure what, but we knew she was going to do something. And I think of what Whitney Houston's father said. I didn't know the girl could sing. She did everything. She started dancing at a very young age, and then one day said, Daddy, I want to sing. We said, well baby, it's not really what you've been pursuing all these years. And then she opened her mouth, and we fell on the floor and realized that Jenny is genuinely what the industry refers to as a triple threat. And she does the work. She woodsheds. She's a brilliant artist. We're very proud to have her in our lives, but also to produce her in this new vehicle called Pearl, based on the life of Pearl Bailey.
Now, Jenny, as a sports guy, I think I like the nickname Triple Threat, so I'll call you that for the rest of the segment. But talk about, you know, having this gift and basically being involved in a family that loves music and all the talents that you have and what your dad has been able to impart to you.
Well, it's definitely been quite an experience being raised in a theatrical or an artistic family where that's pretty much the epicenter of your lifestyle. You don't, certain things that are usual or typical of a lot of other families just aren't typical in ours, and things, and vice versa. But it's been a lot of fun. It's very different. You kind of have a gypsy mentality. You learn to go with the flow at all times. It's a lot of fun. I love it. I love every minute of it. So,
tell us a little bit more about this character, because it seems like this is an opportunity for you to really spread your wings in a role like this.
Well, when we embarked on this endeavor a couple of months ago, I was really intrigued by the opportunity to focus on some solid acting and some solid research of an icon or someone, an unsung hero from, you know, a very poignant time in African American history, and she really has an amazing story to tell. So that's really what spurs me on, is the opportunity to, and the privilege to represent someone so iconic to the African American culture.
So walk me through the process of being Pearl Bailey. I mean, what have you had to do to become her?
Well, she kind of talks very low and very slow. She has a southern drawl, and she's got a very dry kind of humor. And you have to, you know, she's written 5 books. You read all her stuff. You know, you go on YouTube, you look at all of the different things that she's done throughout history. You know, all of the different appearances she's had on television, movies that she's done, you know, and you kind of sink your teeth into that, you know, and it's exciting. So
now, clearly drawing motivation from Pearl, but are there other places that you're getting the motivation from, maybe Dad as well, too?
Of course, that goes without saying. I mean, that's consistent in any project that I work on, is always going back to Daddy and say, hey, Daddy, how do I do, what do you think, you know, whether it's something, we've done a lot of work together, and we've also done a lot of work, I've done a lot of things outside of my father's company, and, you know, and just seeing his opinion about those different things is very, very important to me, and I always find out what he thinks, you know, throughout the process and at the end of the day, so I can make sure I cross my T's and dot my I's, you know.
Dad, how important is family in a career like this, because you spend a lot more time at work probably than you do at home, and to have a chance to have everybody kind of around, I'm sure helps out.
No, I guess the family is everything. And it really is, I guess, at the end of the day, why anybody does what they do, is to be further connected to what they regard as family. And I mean, I think I realize it more now than even what I thought I realized of it before. And it's the sharing, it's the growing, it's the challenging, it's the stresses and pushes and pulls, it's the heartaches and the great blessings and joys of sharing in life and sharing in work. It is a wonderful thing to have a legacy. My wonderful, incredible wife of 33 years, girlfriend of over 40 years, she's standing over there. I'm looking at her right now.
That's a brownie point right there.
Hey, I'm a smart man. Her mom was a musicologist. My mom was not in the arts, but she was arts bent. I mean, she was taking us to art shows, museums, and operas when I was 4 or 5 years old. New York City, of course, is rich and all that. And so at a very early age, I said, that's what I want to do. And I was blessed to be able to continue that track and work in it. And to see my family, you know, all of my children are creative. And I think that that's an important part of who you are, is to find what is the creative. Anybody who is a game changer or makes advances in their career, I don't care how geeky or techy it is, it's because they think creatively. They think outside the box. And that's what is always key to going forward. And to be able to have that as kind of a keynote in your home and acknowledge each other's differences and their voices meaning whatever mode of expression they have, I think is an exciting part of how you share and you grow.
Jenny, I'm assuming very similar to Dad. Are there any times where maybe might butt heads a little bit on the
Oh, sure.
Can you see my bruises? My scars, yes.
Well, this is very often, my father does have a theater company that's a family business. And so I've been teaching with him for a lot of years in a lot of different public schools around New York City. We actually just did a program up here in the Bronx, just a few weeks ago. It's definitely a challenge, but we've been doing it for over 10 years now. So we know the ebbs and flows. The challenge more so is when other people try to come in and work with us, because we've already got a system going. So, you know, we've learned each other very well, and I think we're a good team.
With the same token, is it difficult sometimes having a famous father and kind of being
of course.
a little bit?
Absolutely. You know, you never know when something intriguing as a Tony is in your background. You've always got to second guess your relationships and people's intentions and things of that nature. But I will honestly say I have a lot of wonderful friends who love me for who I am. And oftentimes I kind of hide that fact. I don't want nobody to know nothing, you know. And then once you've, proven yourself as a good person, then you can come and enjoy the spoils of our life. So.
Well, if you know what closet that Ben put the Tony in, you could just go and take it. I mean, that's...
I've thought about it many times.
I'd be sitting in, if I had that, I'd be like Flavor Flav, yo, I'll be wearing it right now.
I mean, ultimately, where do you want to go? I mean, where sky's the limit, where?
I want to go everywhere. You know, I don't want to stay in just one thing. I want to do pop music. I want to do theater. I want to do television and movies. I want to do everything. I want to continue to teach. And I'm open to whatever avenues open themselves to me. You know, there's a lot of possibilities, and I don't want to corner myself to just one. I want to experience all of them. And, yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So where can people see the show?
Cumbo Theater.
Cumbo Theater is actually right on the campus of Long Island University, right across the Brooklyn and Manhattan bridges, right there. If anybody knows where Junior's Cheesecake is, right across the street from there.
I bet they do.
And that's a landmark that people know I've found around the world is Junior's Cheesecake. So right across the street is the Cumbo Theater, beautiful little theater. And it's going to be there starting May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, those 3 days, 4 performances, and you all should come out and see it.
You know, that is the right answer, but the other right answer would be right here today, because Jenny's going to perform.
There you go.
We'd love to hear a song, so stay right here, because when we come back, Jenny Hardy will perform for us. Stay tuned. We're open coming up.
Okay.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see sunshine.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
G morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Welcome back to Open Everyone. I'm your host, Bobby C. Ladies and gentlemen, the triple threat, Jenny Harney.
My mama done told me, Pearl, when you go outside, be a lady. Never place your purse on the floor. Allow the man to open the door with every dress, wear a slip. And when offered wine, only sip. See, people are always watching you, judging every little thing you do. Therefore, Pearl, mind your P's and Q's. My mama done told me, Pearl, when you go outside, be a lady. Men are always sniffing around. Some will try to bring you down. I can hear my mama say to me, why buy the cow when the milk is free? Honey, people are always watching you, judging every little thing you do. Therefore, Pearl, mind your P's and Q's. A scuba-doo-wee, ba-ba-doo-ba-ba-doo-wah. A scuba-doo-wee, ba-ba-doo-ba-ba-doo-wah. Skadoo-bee, ba-ba-doo-ba-ba-doo-wah. Dwee-da-doo-bop, dwee-da-doo-bop, bop-bop-bop. Skidilly-dilly-dee-da-doo-wah. Ba-ba-doo-ba-ba-doo-wah. Keep your head up, never be afraid of who you are. Don't let folks put you down. My mama raised me to be a lady. She taught me to stand and be strong. People are always watching you, judging every little thing you do. Therefore, Pearl, mind your P's and Q's. Oh, yeah!
Big round of applause. Daddy's little girl, not so little anymore. Triple threat. A couple more places before we go. Where are the tickets? We got CumbleTheater.org.
Eventbrite.
Pearlbailey.eventbrite.com. Go out and get those tickets. Go out and get them. Thank you so much. The Hardys on the show. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, R&B group I Am One of a Kind will perform.
Low-fat cheese sandwiches on whole wheat bread. Chewy and good for you. Snacks high in calcium help build strong bones, and foods rich in fiber are good for your heart. So you have the power to dominate. Can your food do that? Run, throw, think, eat better. Find out more at smallstep.gov.
hands can do incredible things. Now they can even help save a life with hands-only CPR. If you see an adult suddenly collapse, just call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Learn more at handsonlycpr.org.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes off the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone. But you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Welcome back to Open, everyone. It is time once again for Music Mondays. Our next guests are a talented R&B group who finished in first place at the Coast to Coast Talent Competition and will now compete in the National Showcase this coming August. Please welcome to the open stage, I Am One of a Kind.
Yeah, come on, come on, let's go. I am People's always asking why you going in. I was taught to go hard, no breaks, all in. Crowd is going wild cause I sing but I rap though. Words just like a needle, lethal heroin flow. Focus on your mind cause we grinding all the time. Non-stop, never stop, need a fix, press rewind. Listen to it said at the beat, bang your head. Look homie, I'm a boss, don't get fired, Alio. Usually on my chill, but will Nick Cage you? Look you dead in your eyes with my dead face on. Never acting tough, but I hold my own. See, I never lose focus when I'm in my zone. It's just Chucky Child's play. I have fun all day when I take a hot beat and bring the drama case in. Throw my chips all in, always go full broke, cause you only live once and I shine through Oka, guaranteed all-star when the game's on mine. Buy that Jay-Z beach chair, sip some Henny and recline. Oh! We guarantee go hard. We certified pro stars. Watch us do our thing, I'ma do my part. We guarantee to go far. We guarantee go hard. We certified pro stars. Watch us do our thing, I'ma do my part. We guarantee to go far. We guarantee to go in. That's the only way we gon' win. Gotta take these tracks, gotta lace these tracks straight up, no hose wall. We guarantee to go far. We certified pro stars. Watch us do our thing, I'ma do my part. We guarantee to go hard. Thinking they got it, play up for the losing bracket. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. Meaning y'all are the team, best team on the bracket. All the way be your slogan, the chip, y'all got to have it. Stepping out on the court, just get to laughing. Your style is so damn sloppy, your team surely be slacking. We all against why would we let that happen? It's the first round sweep. Y'all definitely need practice. Your lady calling me up, saying she had to have it. Call it the full prestige. Yup, she had to have it. Half on the baby flow. Nah, just scratch that status. How about we call it what it is? We call it some practice. We guarantee to go hard. We certified flow stars. Watch us do our thing, I'ma do my part. We guarantee to go hard. We guarantee go hard. We certified flow stars. Watch us do our thing, I'ma do my part. We guarantee to go hard. We guarantee to go win. That's the only way we gon' win. Gotta face these tracks, gotta lace these tracks. Straight up, no hose ball. We guarantee to go hard. We certified flow stars. Watch us do our thing, I'ma do my part. We guarantee to go hard. Yeah. I am Oak. Yeah. Like that. Like that. Just like that.
A big hand for Charles C.P. Caldwell and Dwayne Deacon Jackson. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. You guys did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm getting a lot of stuff here. I feel like maybe I should get into this instead. I could be a rapper, maybe. I don't know. You guys look like you guys are styling and profiling. I want to be involved here.
Look, if you're serious about it, then hey, come on. We'll even give you some lessons. Bring you on, you know.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good. So, gentlemen, tell us about winning this coast-to-coast competition.
Well, basically, it boiled down to it was 25 acts, you know, and we were one of 25 that got picked, and you know, we had celebrity judges there, and you know, but
we were like 24th to perform.
Wow.
This was like we were there all night. Man.
Yeah, it started at 8, but we didn't go until about like 11:45. Well, a little bit earlier than that, like I'll say like 11:15 or so, you know, and it was like a one shot. One song, get it or you don't. And we just happened to beat out everybody, you know, with the blessing of the judges and, of course, Lord up above, you know. So
it's like waiting in the NFL draft room there, trying to get picked, you know. A sports guy reference, folks at home.
Yeah, we can definitely measure up with that, man. It was kind of crazy. It was a long wait, you know, because at first you're full of energy, you're ready to go, and then you find out that you're like 24th out of 25 people to perform, and you have to wait through everyone's performance. But overall, you know, we shine through everything in New York City, where, you know, it's like the mecca of music. So, you know, for us to do that and to win first place, and you know, we get some blessings of going down to Miami, and hopefully, you know, we take care of business down there as well.
Now, this has been a labor of love, all jokes aside, but going back to 2002 for you guys, and finally really getting everything to come together back in 2009. So kind of walk me through this process here.
Well, basically, we started at St. John's University, you know, where we met, you know, and we actually started in a little dorm room with a computer and a computer mic, and you know, we would like all standing around the one mic, you know, singing and stuff. And we used to do open mics and different showcases around campus and off campus, you know. And then, you know, we started just, you know, having conversations and talking and saying, you know, maybe we should try to do this professionally, you know. And we continued doing stuff and continued doing showcases and going out and reaching out to different people. And finally in 2009, we incorporated the name, and, you know, we
got some business. That's what
solidified the group, and, you know, all that stuff came together. And we've just been rocking out ever since.
Now, even though the journey hasn't necessarily been easy, would you do anything any different if you could again, or has it just been exactly as you kind of hoped that it would be, eventually reaching this point?
Maybe. Only thing we probably did different, we would have not wasted so much time doing certain things. You know, like time is essential. And if we would know we know now, we probably did a lot of things different. Other than that, you know, I think sometimes you just have to go down certain paths, and that leads you to where you are now. If you try to, you know, speed up something, you might actually mess up your blessings. So I think everything happens for a reason, and we are liking the path that we're on now.
A lot of our show this morning has been about motivation, and a lot of our guests today have been outstanding, you guys included. Can you talk about basically drawing some musical inspiration and where you guys have found this golden touch?
I mean, we draw from a lot of different people, a lot of different genres. So, I mean, I especially love jazz, you know, R&B, of course, hip-hop, rap, neo-soul, soul, even classical. So, you know, like, you go anywhere from Stevie Wonder to Al Jarreau, Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, you know, the list goes on and on. Anita Baker, you know, it all depends on what you're feeling. You know, music is not something that is like one way, you know. Every song touches a person in a different manner, you know. So it's all about what you feel, you know.
I think a big part of being successful too is always the branding of the product that you have. So why the name?
It just speaks for itself, you know. Like what he said, we're very eclectic. You know, we like different genres, and I don't know. I think like the stars might have aligned when we like, you know, came together in school, like, because we just were matched up with so many different like positive people. Because you know, like sometimes it's it depends on who you're around, and we just were around amazing people when we started, and I think that has a great thing to do with it.
So CP and Deacon, where can people get more information about you guys, and hopefully where you'll be performing next?
Well, definitely you can check out the website, our official website, which is www.imook.com. All right, you can check us, and everything is on there. Everything, all information, upcoming shows, videos, music. Even this interview is going to be up on our website as well, so people can check us out there. You know, so everything Oak, anything one of a kind is on that site.
Well, gentlemen, CP, Deacon, you guys are like the Yankees. You're champs here this morning in the Bronx, doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. I think you got to take us out. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like, you know. So that's our show. Thanks to all our guests. Thanks to you, the viewer, for watching. Don't forget to tune in to an all-new Open this Wednesday with Darren Jaime, CP, Deacon, I Am One of a Kind. Taking us out, I'm Bobby C. See you next time.
Come on, just fly with us. Come on, just fly with us. Yeah, I am one of a kind. I am one of a kind. CP, Deacon, I am Oak Stripper. Truth told, you're the top pedigree. Special kind of woman that I never seen. Have a housewoman be the very first thing on your registry. Rick Morris store, just close the door. But this ain't about materialistic. It's a small bunch of hard when the work is persistent. Will you turn weak or will you resist it? Have a cheat sheet for the test and the quiz. I asked, what's my bad in the recession? Forever in the day, but her heart was the question. What will you question? This self-depressing, causing mad tension and stressing with all this. I stay tall like Shaq in the middle of August. I made in my organ, please hold with caution. Feel like your heart's getting weak, just put this part of repeat. CP. I give you everything, from cars to driving rain. All I ask of you, please spend some time with me. I know you are my heart, I know you are my soul. But as I hit the tick-tock, see our love will never grow, never grow, never grow. Our love will never grow. I've been just questioning all the things that made me think you be the girl I walk down the aisle with. Timing plus playing games.